And so we see this need for life groups. We see this need for community in our life, a place for spiritual growth, for relational growth. And then finally, the third one, life groups are a place of community. And I've talked a little bit about this. I want us to read, though, 44 through 46. It says here, "And all who believed were together and had all things in common, and they were selling their possessions and belongings and distributing the proceeds to all as any had need. And day by day, attending the temple together and breaking bread in their homes, they received their food with glad and generous hearts." Here's what we see here. We see an attitude of sharing. We see that in verse 45. Look at verse 45. "And they were selling their possessions and belongings and distributing the proceeds to all as any had need." This attitude of sharing with one another, that's community. We see this tremendous community in this common mission that they all had together. Verse 46, it says, "And day by day, attending the temple together." Now here's what's really remarkable about this. Many times we read this passage and we see, oh, okay, day by day, they were gathering together and they were attending the temple together, and we think that this is kind of a collective worship sort of thing. This is not what it is at all. The temple was a place where they went to witness. They went to share the gospel. The Apostle Paul was always in the temple sharing the gospel. In the synagogues, he was sharing the gospel. And so what we know is people had discovered this tremendous love that God had for them. And in return, they had loved Him. And there was life change taking place. And so they were gathering together on a common mission. And they were going down to the temple and they were sharing their faith. They were sharing their faith. And so there was this common mission that they had. And then finally, there was this common desire for social concern. Look at verse 47. "Praising God and having favor with all people." All people. To be social people, to expand. One of the just most horrible things that I can imagine in the life of the church is where we begin to look at people and say, they don't belong in my circle. The Word of God says that they were having favor with all people. Everyone that entered into the door. Let me tell you, I don't care what color you are. I don't care what's your background. I don't care I don't care if you're a Lounge fan or a Valdosta fan. Some of you care a lot about that. If you don't believe me, just bring it up. VSU, FSU, I don't care. Okay? I believe that the church should be a community where we love each other, and it doesn't matter what we bring in with us, but there's a true and tremendous love for each other. That's community for all people.